It's 10 o'clock. We'll call Sawyer County Administrative Committee meeting to order. Ask clerk to call the roll, please.
Ron Kinsley.
Here.
Ron Buckholz.
Present.
Tom Duffy. John Righeimer. Here. Stacy Hessel. Here. You have a quorum.
Thank you. Next item is pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Next item is certification compliance open meeting laws.
This meeting was noticed to the media and the public as required by Section 19.84 of the Wisconsin statutes.
Thank you. Number 6 is the meeting agenda. The agenda is set. Number 7 is public comment. Ms. Zilmer.
Linda Zilmer, Edgewater property owner, resident of Birchwood. My public comment today primarily relates to the agenda item 13B about the recordings of the meetings and the board meetings. I think they are valuable not just to the public, but for you as members of the county board. If you watch committee meetings, that's where most discussion happens on how decisions are made, if they get discussed at all. Last night's Public Works Committee meeting was a good example, with a highway commissioner explaining the situation and how they're working to resolve issues. That's informative for you, and it's also informative for the public. So if people were worried about road conditions, they understand that this is the situation that the county's in, and they're able to resolve it. Back at the October meeting, the day of finance and admin, that was also the day that Wisconsin Eye was covering the public hearing for Senate Bill 456. And I know after the meeting's adjourned, Supervisor Hessel was very anxious to zoom in to see what was happening with that hearing. And so if you find value in seeing what's happening, how decisions are being made at the state level, you most certainly would want to support it at the county level. And unfortunately, Wisconsin Eye, it doesn't sound like the Republicans or the Democrats are willing to help keep that going. And that's a shame. I was so excited when it first started. The Johnsons here in Hayward were big contributors to getting that started. And that was back in the day when I used to write letters to the editor and recognize them for that. So please, there's a lot of value for both county supervisors and for the public to continue to provide that. And it also sets the record straight. If I went back and reported about something that happened in a meeting, I could be wrong or I could put my own interpretation on it. I usually refer people to the videos. Just watch it and draw your own conclusions. I also arrived late for the Finance Committee meeting, but I would also hope that the meetings would consider things like some things that have come up in other committees, that there's a crossover responsibility. On some of those properties that the county is considering being taken back, I understand 2 of the 7 homes have occupants. And so there could be HHS and other considerations, not just the financial of we're taking these properties back and do we sell them before doing the evictions. And then HHS is putting forward a new fee and penalty schedule for their agent of the state and their water testing services. And that did not come through committee, and that's being done after the 2026 budget was adopted, but will have an impact on the 2026 revenues. So maybe for a future agenda item, it would be interesting to know what is the impact of those changes in fees, because I don't know that they were put into the budget. And also, I guess I would also request at this time, what was the impact of having a 0% increase in health insurance when I think there was 5% increase budgeted in? Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody online? Number 8, consider approval of the minutes of the previous meeting, which was December 11th.
I make a motion to approve the previous meeting.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Hessel, second by Mr. Righeimer to approve as presented. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
think somebody is. Number 9, County Clerk Report. Ms. Klein.
So we're in January, we're starting over a new year with dog licenses. We have a lot of activity there because a lot of the towns have decided to opt out of that program and let the county do it. So that's fine, we're able to do that. We've had 43, so people are getting them done. Marriages are on track. Plat books, we're down to 100 left from our last order and looking at reordering those because they kind of fly off the shelves. They're pretty regular sellers, so probably in 3 months, I'm gonna order more plat books. We just sold another $50 map that's not on here, so there's one of those maps left. They don't sell that much, but we've sold 4 out of 5 of those, so that's kind of nice. Those are free, they come to us for free from the company, so it's just revenue. The rest of the report, I can just summarize by saying that the candidates for the April election, all the papers were turned in. We only have one contested race for District 6. We're in the 3-day challenge period right now. Friday at 5 will be the end of that, at which point we can go forward with creating the ballots. So I've been in contact with all the munis and the school districts, and everyone's on track for that so far. It looks good. We will not have a February primary this year, so that's great. It saves a lot of money and a lot of headaches for people to try to run their own elections. Again, you know, two back to back. So that's all good. And Laura is still doing the resolutions. She's back to 1941, and she's been posting them online. She's also doing the 1099s for the whole county now, and the end of year reporting for dog and marriage licenses to the state. So that ends my report.
Thank you. Any questions? What year are the plat books?
2025.
Okay,
They come out every 3 years, so they're relatively new right now.
thank you. Number 10, Resolution 2026-1, Supervisor District Bounty Amendment. Mr. Markgraf.
Thank you. This is coming from a request from the city of Hayward. They annexed a property in, it's the Monarch Gym, that new gym that just opened up, from the town of Hayward. So this is it would be represented by, it would be a district of one person or one property, and there's not a voting person in that property. So what they're requesting is that we would move it within a city supervisor, so that otherwise they would have to do an individual ballot just for this one property. So it would move from Ms. Hessel's to Mr. Duffy's districts within the city of Hayward. And there's the map. And, yep, we'll need a motion, action item.
Make a motion to approve the move.
Motion by Mr. Rickheimer, second by Mr. Duffy to approve. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Number 11, Veteran Service Report. Mr. Elliott.
Hi, good morning. So for the month of December, we had 450 phone calls, 823 letters, emails, and faxes, and 180 office visits, with 71 of those office visits being walk-ins. So again, nearly 50% is usually what we have coming in for work. Workload perspective for December, we had 377 phone calls, 233 letters, and 209 office visits. So, compare and contrast, I guess. For that, the VA disability compensation and pension claims, 194 disability claims to date. Well, actually for the year, and then 542,041 cents for claims decided in the veterans' favor. That was direct payout to the veterans. And then for the month of December for 24, we had 227 claims, and it was down to 490,000, or a little over that. Our La Crosse Vet Center, we still co-manage and host appointments for our veterans seeking mental health. We had one individual and 2 group counseling sessions. It was kind of a bad month. We had bad weather when we had appointments scheduled, and we had quite a few cancellations for the month, but it still remains in effect, and we keep going with it. outreach. Coffee and Conversation with Gary and Nicole continues every month on the first Wednesday of every month. And then last month, right before Christmas, Nicole and I visited multiple veterans throughout all the nursing homes that we have here in Hayward. And there's probably at least 20 veterans, I want to say, that we went and seen. That was kind of rough. A lot of them didn't want us to leave, but I don't think they get too many visitors, anyone that stays in the nursing homes. So it was appreciated. We had cookies donated by the
Simply Sweets.
Simply Sweets out of Cable.
It's Tracy Rasmussen is the business owner.
Go ahead, speak up.
Tracy Rasmussen is the business owner, and she created a gourmet custom patriotic Christmas cookie. And then the Sawyer County Sheriff's Department originally approached us asking if they could kind of coordinate with us, and so they wrote Christmas cards to the veterans. And then we took artwork that the Drummond Elementary students had created, and we put it all together in a cute little package, and Gary and I were Santa's elves and went around letting everybody know that they were on Santa's nice list and the Sheriff's Department wasn't coming after them this year. So it was a very nice experience. Sure. Social media has been going well. Facebook, we utilize a program called Meta Business, which allows me to actually post ahead numerous days, which is really great and saves us a lot of time. It's definitely a time saver. I go ahead and I follow the VA, the VHA, and different veterans organizations and put together posts. And we actually have a couple other counties that follow us and then even share our posts. So that's been really helpful getting news and information out to our veterans. Our followers, and I did a little recap on that. It's broken down a little different than we usually do. But right now, our followers, we have 216 followers. Last month, we had 3,010 views and 177 engagements. And our Facebook was up quite a bit more than it has been, which was great. I think a lot of that was our Christmas project and different things that we did. But it's definitely been an asset, and I think we've been helpful to other counties, which has been good. One thing with the La Crosse Vet Center, we are coordinating right now. Our group session is combat veterans, and it ends up being a lot of our Vietnam veterans. But Gary coordinated with the head of the Veteran Center, or the Vet Center, excuse me, and we are hosting a new session this month, if you want to talk about that a little bit.
It's basically based on, we've got our Iraq and Afghan veterans are a little bit younger. They enjoy their time with the Vietnam vets. The Vietnam vets have had a lot more time post-war than our Afghan and Iraqi veterans. But, so they enjoy that part of it, but they kind of wanted to get, there's enough that wanted to be in their own group of Iraq and Afghan for current generation coming through. So there was enough requests for that, so we decided, Carrie Porter, she's the manager of the La Crosse Vet Center over in Onalaska, had asked about that, and I said, we can support that as long as we keep it in the same day and get through that rush of people. So we'll see how it goes. We've tried it in the past. It went for quite a while, and then the younger generation, they're still working. And it's small families, and they move to other jobs and what have you. So it dissipated, but we'll see what happens. There's been enough years going by. I mean, a 20-year war, basically. There's enough veterans out there, and they're getting older. So we'll see how this takes flight, but we will try to make sure that we're getting what the veterans need to manage their lives. So the last thing I'd like to say is our training and miscellaneous information. We went through we had a few things that we had to do with our national accreditation, and we got that done. We had to wait till January to finish. We had to pay our bill. So we waited till January to pay our bill, and so we're done with that, and we're good good into this year until the training starts, and we just got to go back and get our training done again to maintain our accreditation. So, any questions?
You're doing a Valentine's card gathering for veterans. Can they just drop them off at your office?
Yep, absolutely. So I'll start posting about that on social media, but for the last 2 years, we've done Valentine's for Veterans. So anybody can drop off a card. We'll go talk to the elementary schools to see if they want to create some artwork. And then we'll go drop off at the nursing homes. And then we also hand them to the VA clinic to pass out to the veterans throughout the whole week of Valentine's Day. And I'll probably talk to you again about seeing if we can drop off at the, up at the front here, if that's okay, Liz. Thank you.
Thank you for all you do.
Thank you.
Number 12, Veterans Tribute Update.
SCH was on site Monday, January 5th to take core samples, and I got a report Tuesday that it went well. The owner was good to work with, and they sent the samples off to be examined. I reached out then to ask when we might see results, and I haven't heard back yet, but the final piece of work has been done, so just waiting on the results.
Thank you. Number 13, Information Technology Report, Mr. Colson.
Good morning. So the first is a agenda item for discussion and possible action. I was asked to provide some options for the recordings. So we've been doing live broadcasts on Zoom since about 2020. And going back even further, we've been posting audio. So just want to give you the options that we can try here. And I broke them into the live meeting itself and then recording. So for the live meetings, some of the options are we could pick one or more depending on what your goal is here. We could live stream Zoom with invitation only access, so it wouldn't be open to the public. That would restrict who could see the live meetings. Another option, just broadcast the audio only. We're just the sound, or we could just simply turn the camera off if you know the live video is a concern. We might just discontinue Zoom only, and if you want to open it up to like a phone conference, we could do that. Although, to be honest, using Zoom does make it a lot easier for us and for other people to join the meeting, whether it's audio or video. Or we could just simply continue on as is with no change. Those are the options I came up with. There might be others that you could think of, or some combination. And then when it comes to the recordings, real similar. We could just stop posting recordings altogether. We could make them only available to staff. A lot of times staff would find them very, very useful to go back and double check what they may have written down or thought they heard at a meeting. Similar to the live, we could just post the audio only or turn the camera off. We could put an expiration on the recordings, expire at a certain time, and then they just delete, or we manually delete them after some period of time. We could put them on some more secure platform that prevents downloads, might require a special player. It just, the only benefit there would be that it's not, you couldn't download or easily download to then fudge with the video. there'd be an additional cost there for that, for option 5. Or continue to post YouTube unrestricted, available to the public. And again, there might be other options here, but I think these kind of summarize what we could do. The kind of different levels of restrictions and access. So that's what I came up with. If you have any other questions or comments.
Thank you for putting stuff together for us. Ms. Essel?
Since I'm the one that brought this up, I'm okay leaving it as is, but having the sunset, so number 4 on the recordings, allowing access for limited time, expiring after a certain date. I think Liz brought that up where it could be on there for a certain amount of time and then deleted. Because everybody just has to go by the, for legalities, it's just the written minutes. So being transparent, we are allowing for the Zoom and the live streams, but I think that there should be a sunset on it. And I don't think that we need to put it on YouTube for that long. Is that correct? Would it be deleted from YouTube or just from our file, or how does that work?
It would be on YouTube. That's where we post. So when we have, the IT department has full control over that, so we can either delete the content or unpublish it or make it private for guests or for invited guests only. So yeah, we would have to delete it after whatever retention period you come up with.
So a retention period, if people are looking at it, would be, a month would be long enough, correct? Like, people don't have to go, if they're wanting to see we could delete it every month.
The only thing I have to say, I guess, is ironic, is Brian Lehner came in to ask me a question about the discussion on the Billy Boy Dam and the water levels in Whitefish Lake. And we went back and watched the videos from May and June, because that topic was still in play before committees and boards in Bass Lake. So some of these things don't have a sunset, in the sense that if it's like an ongoing decision or an ongoing issue, it benefits the public to look back and say, oh, well, this is what this guy said in June. I actually just used it, and I was kind of thinking, well, this would be a reason to have it be longer. So I don't know, 30, if you're really trying to do it just to limit access, 30 days is logical, but you could do, just to keep it off YouTube forever, you could say 6 months or a year. So someone could still go back on an ongoing item that's not resolved yet and look back at the track record of the different steps in the meetings or something like that. Maybe like a year would be long enough.
But so you're saying even the minutes of the meeting did not give you valuable information that you had to watch it on YouTube?
No, the minutes don't really give you anything. The minutes aren't verbatim, blow by blow, this person said this and that. That was a public comment. So that wasn't in the minutes at all. The public comments don't get recorded what the people say, it's just who spoke. So we were able to go, it was Mr. John Jack, we went back and looked at his statement, and then we looked at the Whitefish Bay property owner statement the following month. So we were able to compare and contrast the two opinions on the sides of the water level. It was helpful information. But those things are not in minutes.
But at last month's meeting, you said something about that it's you gave a time frame of the deletion.
Right, so the statute for a municipal or a town clerk or a county clerk, the statute for an audio recording taken for the purpose of the clerk, I could have a tape recorder here, and I could tape these myself for me to do my minutes with, and I'm allowed to delete those after 90 days from the date of creation, or something like that. It's like a 90-day, so that you're not keeping those forever. That's not the same as this topic of these going out on YouTube. But if you wanted to, I said that for the purpose of, there is no requirement to be doing this at all. We don't have to do this at all. And even the audio recordings have a deletion schedule. So I guess that's to your point.
So the deletion schedule of the audio recordings is what we could follow for all of it and just say 90 days. And does that make your job a little bit more intense, because then you have to follow that? But
It really wouldn't be that. It'd be just a couple of minutes every month or something like that. Just go back and either delete them or make them private for employee only. I guess at this point we're saying delete them completely. after 90 days. It wouldn't add that much time.
But if you made them private for employees only, so like, let's say we get new elected officials that need to go back and research something.
We would have to grant them the link to it if it's privated, yes. But
So
it
we
would still be available for staff only, yes.
So we could do that caveat as 90 days that it would be deleted except for staff only. I like that idea, just because the research purposes and turnover purposes, but, I think we're trying to encourage people to come here in person. I mean, so that was the purpose of the Zoom question on keeping it live. Like, I think it's hard when they try to argue over Zoom, and, there's different things that we're dealing with that I don't feel like they've used to deal with, and I know we're supposed to keep up with the times on technology, but my concern is then, the AI transfer of putting words in people's mouths that sometimes people do already, and then making visual distinctions on AI. So I think just keeping up with that AI component is where I was at, trying to figure out how we could, respect the being transparent in our decision-making, but then not allowing for corruption. So that's where it was coming from, not to make anybody's job harder or to not store the information. But I do like the idea, to wrap up my big nonsense, is to keep it the way it is, but then delete the access after 90 days to limit it to only staff. Anybody else have any?
Well, the one of the live meetings with the Zoom, we brought it out there for the board supervisors. They're not following our board rules when it comes to doing Zoom. They just go on there, they do it. One of my things with that is we have to maybe make this a little more strict for them people to abide by our board rules on the Zoom, but on the recordings, I've got a lot of calls on this already, that we leave the YouTube as is.
Like well, but you're saying you don't like the idea of getting rid of it after 3 months to have it for staff access only? I mean, if they haven't watched it in 3 months, then they're just coming. I mean,
Yeah.
It could still be access only by staff. So then if they had to submit a request to view that with a staff member, they could.
I guess I would be okay with that, because I do myself go back to YouTube and watch some of our stuff and to update myself on what we did. But I guess I would be okay with the 3 months. I mean, if people can't get it done and then,
But you'd be considered a staff, so like if you wanted to watch it, or an elected official wanted to watch it after that, you would just have to ask for access. So it's just,
well, I guess I wouldn't want to go through all that. If I go on there, I just want to do what we've been doing when and it comes up. We haven't had any problems with it at all up to date to right now that I know of. So I guess, I'm just saying that let's just leave the YouTube unrestricted. It's nothing that anybody has done with it, change anything any views on what was met with the board. So I'm okay with just leaving it the way it is. Unrestricted.
Can you tell us what some of the other counties are doing with this?
I don't know specifically what they're doing with this. There was a discussion Monday at my admin call, and I jumped on Lakes. I was at a meeting, and so I didn't catch the beginning, but several of them said with video, they are deleting after 120 days. Or they do it like 122 in case.
How many days?
122 days.
3 months.
4 months.
That's what Steve says.
And they extended a little bit in case that the person in charge of it received an email that they didn't read, so that's why they have a little bit of a buffer. But I don't know the original context, because like I said, I was in a meeting, so I jumped on the call a little bit late. But they were specifically talking about video recordings, though.
Mr. Duffy?
I agree with Ron. Leave things the way they are.
Way we do it. Sad, John? I'm fine, either way we do it. I wouldn't argue hard against either.
Mike, do you see where we're keeping up with the AI concerns? Or is there a way that we can, so people are not manipulating? I mean, that's the only reason that I'm concerned on this.
That would, number 5 under recordings would greatly, would that make that much more difficult to do if we put them on some alternate platform that would encrypt it or prevent downloads? And maybe there's something we could do to experiment with that ourselves. But that's the one thing that I would say is where you need a special player to prevent people from just easily grabbing it. Now, it's not to say, even if you put it in a special player, you could, if it's on some screen, you could still record it with your phone. So there's really no technical way to make it completely eliminate the possibility of somebody manipulating video.
Unless you remove it.
Unless you get rid of the video itself. Simply turn off the camera. Maybe just post, what you see on most of the screen there is the agenda. So.
That's what I was going to say. We had this conversation because we had a technology problem on Wednesday during Land and Water. So Linda was Zooming, and she can tell you from all the Zoom meetings that she's on, the camera's not zoomed in on anybody. I can zoom in, but that's too much trouble to be doing videography while all of this. So right now, it's just a little tiny view of this whole table with all the people, and it's like microscopic. You almost can't see the people anyway. And the only time when someone comes here to speak, you could maybe see them better, the audience camera. But what would a bad actor actually be able to do with a table view of all the different people, small video, if we're talking about just video manipulation? And then we would have the original recording for proof that it was altered, because we have the original one anyway, right?
That's correct, yeah.
I would be more concerned not with the video, but them dubbing in different audio of the meeting, because then it wouldn't have to match the lips anyhow, because they can't really see it. But to Mike's point that he just said, even if all we did is live, someone could hold their phone up to their computer screen, record it, and do the same thing. If that's what somebody wants to do, I don't know how we can really stop that.
Can we just go back to the 70s and 80s?
I would love to.
That would be great.
I'll make a motion.
Yeah. All right.
Did you have something else? Or?
Yeah, are we into where we, on number B, making a motion? If so, I can make a motion to keep live meetings, that number 4, to continue live streaming Zoom with public access, and recordings to number 6, to post YouTube unrestricted. That's my motion.
Yeah, I'll second that motion.
So we have a motion by Mr. Buckles, second by Mr. Duffy. And Liz, do you have the motion?
A motion by Mr. Buckholz to keep number 4 live meetings, Zoom with public access with no change, and for recordings, number 6, to post to YouTube unrestricted.
Any other discussion? I have a little bit. A board member showed me some things that have been altered, and it really bothers me that you can alter stuff like that. Has it been done at one of our currently board meetings? Not that I'm aware of. Is it gonna be? I don't know. As things change. So I guess I really like the discussion that we had. I like that IT is here, and I like that we can continue to monitor that. And if something ever does happen at one of our board meetings, that perhaps we can revisit it and see what else we can do. Because it is very important to us. I think it's important to all the board members, even the ones that aren't here, that we have things right. And I don't like someone going in and alternating things, and that's just not right to do.
No, I don't think anybody wants that. Mr. Chairman, I agree, but the person that you're talking about, it ain't from the Sawyer County Board of Supervisors, because it should have been brought to the attention, not just to the chairman, but brought up to more board members.
Okay, any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you for the discussion. It was a good discussion, a good item. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Coles.
Thank you.
Number 14, Human Resource Report. Anything you want to share with that?
No, I don't see a report attached. I don't have anything to add. We have very little posted right now. We're pretty well staffed.
We have a report, Mike.
Yeah, it's attached.
Oh, I downloaded it before. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
You have 3 vacancies.
We're pretty well staffed. Don't have a lot of vacancies.
We'll move on. Number 15, County Administrator's Report. Mr. Markram, please.
Don't have a lot of new stuff because we just had the board meeting like 2 weeks ago, so, and then we had Christmas and New Year, so I don't have a lot of new stuff. I guess one thing, we're working on closing out the books with finance, and we're sitting in a pretty good spot. We have not done some of the transfers, and we have a lot of outstanding bills that will be coming in for the next, even up to 2 months. So we'll still be working on that. If we do have some money left, I think one thing we could look at doing is transferring some to resource development. We do have a dam that is in need of repair, and it would be a good place to put some of that money so that maybe we don't have to put that in the CIP for 2027. We're also starting to prep for the audit, believe it or not, the 2025 audit. We just got the report from 24, but they'll start asking for stuff probably the end of February here. So it's just, audit's a continual thing almost all year long. Strategic planning, I will have a preliminary report for the board on next Thursday's meeting. Kind of give a presentation and then have it as an action item in February then. So everybody can chew on it for a while and think about any changes they want to make. The contracts for service, I did receive all the ones back that had been issued. And now I did issue to both the Weiss and Winter Libraries, because at first I didn't issue to them because it's a statutory payment we give them, but we give them well above and beyond the statutory amount. So I did issue contracts to those two just yesterday, so I don't have them back yet. I'm meeting with Christy Mackey from the Berkey next week to start discussions on that event, which is one of the highlights of Sawyer County. So I've never met her before. That'll be fun. And then in the packet, there is the update that I send out to staff right after the county board meeting. I've been doing that since April. So it's just to inform them. I've received a lot of positive feedback from staff that they like seeing what happened without having to watch all of the videos.
It's great you do that, Mike.
So that's all I've got.
Anything new with the tribe and the tower?
Nothing new, no.
Are we talking about?
We are having, we set up a Public Works ad hoc committee from Public Works Committee that will be meeting with an ad hoc committee from the tribe, and we did just receive who the members of that will be. We don't have a date set for that, and I would anticipate we'll have discussions around the communications tower in that ad hoc committee.
Okay. Number 16, Board Appointment Committee updates.
Chairman?
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, I brought this to the board's attention on our last board meeting on Nemacolin Transit that Carrie Sabin, the manager, has resigned her position. And today, after this meeting, We are doing interviews out at the transit for, we have 3 to interview for that position. And that starts at 12:30. So I just want to keep you guys updated on where we're at with that.
Much appreciated. 17, correspondence, reports, conferences, and meetings. I was here last night at the Public Works meeting. Our highway commissioner shared a lot of information about the roads and the storms. And I think they're working very hard to keep the roads in the best condition they can. We had a lot of rain and that hampered a lot of things. We got a lot of young, inexperienced drivers, but they're all getting experience every day. You have anything else you want to add? Okay.
No.
All right, future agenda items. If you ever have anything you want to bring up, certainly get a hold of us. We'll certainly try to get that on the agenda. And hopefully we can get more information about the Veterans Tribute and get that moving forward faster. Meeting adjourned. Thank you for your valuable time.